Hi, this is Solo P1. Welcome to the qualifying Monaco live review. It was an interesting one today. I've got to admit, it was an interesting qualifying. But before I start talking about qualifying, I'm going to bring in my co-cues, my partner in crime, Toto. Big up, Toto. Big up, how you doing, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, it's going
Did
really
you get
good.
that Mbappe card yet?
Yeah, man, I finally got him. Finally got him. Yeah, but how am I feeling so far? Feeling well. Just watched the Women's Champions League. It was absolute great
Yeah, no,
game.
I'll just watch it as well.
And yeah, man, feeling well.
We will do a review on that. Actually, we're going to do a review on that probably tomorrow or Monday. We're going to do a review on that Champions League final. I think it deserves a review. And for me, brilliant game. Leon didn't really show up today for the game. Leon didn't show up, but Barcelona held in there, and Bab Marti got the first goal, and then after that, Pateas came off the bench, which I was completely and utterly surprised. I was shocked that she was even on the bench. She come on and scored the winner, the second goal, just to seal off the match. For me, the player of the match was Graham Hansen by far. She was 65% of the votes going into the first half. I thought Bad Marty didn't really show much in the game until that goal. And for some reason, the fans voted her for player of the match. Sometimes I know people vote with their emotion, but if you actually analyze the game and watch the game, this is from the commentators, and one of the commentators on the zone, they were said if you actually analyze the game, you can see that Graham Hansen was a far better player than anyone on the pitch, but she never got it. It was Bob Marty. But what was weird is Bob Marty, the goal when she scored, she would become the highest goal scorer in Champions League history overall. Not in the season. This season, it's been Graham Hansen for the most goals in the Champions League. But overall, she scored, I think, 24 goals. That's the record of the Champions League. But when Pateas scored, she equaled her. So they both got 24. That's mad. Pateas just got a contract as well for Barcelona. She's staying there for a couple more years. Big up to her. But yeah, the women's game is firing. I might start covering the women's game soon because I really enjoy the women's game. It's like proper football. A lot of people go, it's only women. Nah, the women are good, man. But yeah, overall, it's a good game. But today, we're here to talk about the Monaco Grand Prix live reaction. And again, no Max Verstappen on the pole. No Max Verstappen on the first, even in the first row. I think Max Verstappen's on the third row, I think, with Lewis Hamilton. But yeah, Charles Leclerc, he was my pick at the beginning of the weekend. If you go and look at my thumbnails that I put up the other day on the qualifying live watch along, I had Charles Leclerc as my thumbnail because that was my favorite to win to get the pole, and he did. But it was a good session. I thought Lando Norris got caught out a bit with the warming up his tires. I thought he made a mistake of coming out the pit for his last stint. He should have warmed up a bit more, because we all know when it comes to Monaco, you need to have your tires warm from the off because it's a short track, and if your tires are cold going in for the last stint of your qualifying, you're going to be in problems. So overall, I thought it was a good qualifying, but I'm going to let you talk, Toto. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the race tomorrow.
I really enjoyed it, man.
Wing.
I know it's Monaco. And it's really boring. But the qualifying probably the only most interesting part about it, because there's people getting held up, even though drivers don't like that. It's good to see some type of entertainment. But look, I think the biggest shock for me this weekend was Lewis Hamilton. It's got to be the biggest shock for me, anyway. It's in my opinion. I think Hamilton.
Why? What shock in what sense? What do you mean?
Because if you look in the practices, practice 1, he finished top. He got top in practice 1. Practice 2, he got second. And in practice 3, he got third. So first, second, third on all practice sessions. And I'm thinking, Hamilton's going to have a really good qualifying. The car looked good. Even Hamilton said it in the interview. The car looked good fine in qualifying, but soon they hit in practice and soon they hit in qualifying, it completely all fell over. It's not quote unquote what he said. It's basically what he's trying to say, right? And I think it's the biggest shock, because finishing eighth he finished today. Hamilton finished 8th. I'm finishing first, second, third in practice. You'll be evaluating, saying he's going to have a good qualifying. Qualifying money look good as well. You know, getting fastest sectors, getting personal best.
Now Lewis Hamilton got 7th, not 8th.
7th, yeah. But you can see his timings in the qualifying. In qualifying 1, you can see he was getting purples, he's getting greens, he's feeling comfortable with the cars, he was getting in that mid-table section. And I was like, yeah, Hamilton could actually have a chance of getting a podium. I thought he was going to get a podium because there's... But it's like with Russell, he always has the better.
Not a podium, but you mean
yeah,
like a top 3.
Third,
I know what you mean.
Second, whatever, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And it seems like Russell always has the better car than him, and of course, the obvious reason why is because Hamilton is leaving. But the interview,
you know what? That's what there you go. Then
the Hamilton interview, what he explained today of that corrupt message. I forgot what he says now, but
I'll put up on the screen.
Yeah, get that on. I need to know what he said because I forgot what he said. But Hamilton for me, biggest shot this weekend. Dude, so good over the week, doing good all weekend, all practice.
I come prepared every time.
Yeah. All through the practice sessions.
There you go.
And
there it is.
He's 7th in the qualifying. It's I don't know.
So the message you said for the people. If you listen to an audio or whatever, I anticipated it will be a difficult out-qualifying George Russell. He goes, I anticipated it would be difficult to out-qualify George because he has the upgraded components, but it's great to see we are bringing upgrades, I already know automatically that I am going to lose 0.2 of a second going into qualifying. That's definitely frustrating and that's something I don't have to answer for. I don't anticipate being ahead of George in the qualifying this year. Lewis Hamilton doesn't anticipate beating George Russell in qualifying this year. So basically that just means that what I've said and if you know about Formula One, you should know this already. Yeah. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about anyone who's watching this video. When someone's leaving a team, the team tend to put all their energy into the guy who's staying. And when they go to like debrief meetings and stuff, you see it with Red Bull now with Adrian Newey, the same thing. He's on the way out, so they're not going to show all their secrets, all their upgrades for Lewis Hamilton when he knows he's going to the enemy Ferrari. So what they're going to do when they have certain debrief meetings, when they start talking about strategy and stuff like that, all their upgrades and all their energy is going to go into George Russell because they know Lewis is leaving. Same thing with Adrian Newey. Adrian Newey's leaving Red Bull. So today, perfect example today, they was doing practice 1 and 2. Where did you see Adrian Newey? In a hotel above the pits, and he was just looking over, looking down, and the commentator says that looks like a guy he's leaving. Jenson Button mentioned something today. He says, look, even though Adrian Newey's leaving, he's the one who masterminded this car. He done all the aero, he's the ground effect man, he's the one with the thesis. So even though he's leaving, I still think he should have some input on the car. That was from Jenson Button, which I tend to agree. Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's Red Bull's thing, isn't it? That's Red Bull thing. But what's a bit funny to me? What's a bit like, I don't know if it's a bit of a coincidence or whatever. Yeah. As soon as Adrian Newey decided he was leaving, he's not going to be part of the team. The Red Bull car hasn't been the same. Because you design a car for the season, that doesn't mean that car is going to be the same all season. Sometimes you need to do a few tweaks, and the man might need exactly. Go ahead.
You got to put the right upgrades on. You know, bringing upgrades is really, really important.
And you need to know what upgrades to bring. And sometimes you need Adrian Newey to look at the car.
Yeah, because Adrian Newey, even he sorted out all through that regulation about the porpoising and all that. He sorted all that out and made that Red Bull machine as it is today. You know,
if
there's a fault in the car, he's the first one to come out. He's the first one to fix
because he designed it.
Yeah, if I was Red Bull, of course you don't let him in the debrief, you don't let him in the team meetings, but at least let him have a say on the car. You know, because
but I don't want him to. I'm glad he's not.
I don't want him to.
You know what I'm saying.
I don't want him to, but as a neutral, I say as a neutral, right? And I'm a boss of Red Bull.
You sound like Lazenby now.
Yeah. Look, I wouldn't let him to no debriefs or nothing, right? But I would let him have some work in the car because he's the only designer in that team. If there is a designer on the team, there's no way that any design on that team matches to the ability of Adrian Newey. No way, man. So yeah, Red Bull is having a big disadvantage of having Adrian Newey not in there. It's a bit stupid in my opinion. But just let them do what they're gonna do.
Yeah. At the end of the day, right, that's their problem. I'm just reporting it, what's going on. He wasn't involved. He's not really involved in the car, especially the setup and stuff like that, because he's on the way. And obviously, they're probably scared that he's going to leak stuff to Ferrari. If he does, it hasn't been announced that he's gone to Ferrari, but he might leak stuff to Ferrari. We don't know. But at the end of the day, it's their problem, not ours. It is what it is. But with the Lewis Hamilton thing, this is common knowledge for true racing fans. We know he's not going to be involved in the car. Lewis Hamilton, really, when it comes to these meetings and these setup stuff and any further upgrades, I don't think he's going to get anything really. He'll get a few upgrades, but none of the... George Russell will get the majority of the upgrades because obviously he's the one who's staying. And look, it's a business. It's a business. If I was in charge of Mercedes, I'd do the same. I wouldn't be giving all my upgrades to Lewis Hamilton. I wouldn't be giving all my secrets to Lewis Hamilton. Further upgrades, what's going to benefit us for next season. Why would you do that and give it so we can give him ideas? So when he goes to Ferrari, he can give Ferrari ideas. But I don't know what Ferrari's going to learn. But look, again, you can look at the flip side of the coin. I don't know what Ferrari's going to learn off Mercedes at this point, because Mercedes car is not really that good. So what are you going to learn off it?
Ferrari looks.
Go on.
Say out of the cars who's improved and actually figure that Red Bull, it's got to be Ferrari and McLaren, man. Ferrari had been on the up. They looked decent last season, but not there yet last season. But this season, they found that key, and now they just keep on going forward, top three consistently. Leclerc is their anchor in the qualifying, because in the qualifying, you know how good Leclerc is in the qualifying. To me, I think Sainz is a better driver in the race, but Leclerc is, of course, a better qualifier. And Leclerc finishing first and qualifying first is 99.9% chance that he's going to go win that race next. And he deserves it, man, because he's a Monegascan. He hasn't got pole here before. He hasn't got a race win here before. Leclerc deserves it. And that Ferrari car is going to... I think it's going to go places. It's going to do good this season. It's going to do good this season because two drivers are finishing consistently in that top 5, top 3, absolutely consistently, yeah. And Leclerc in this qualifying, absolutely brilliant all weekend, top in practice 2 and practice 3, absolutely brilliant. And compared to the Red Bull, especially Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, has been nowhere these practice sessions. Verstappen finishing 4th, 5th in the practice sessions. Perez, absolutely nowhere. Looking qualifying today, Perez was out. Also,
I know.
So Leclerc, I think he's going to go win this race next.
Yeah, but we'll get into that. You way far ahead. So what we're going to do now, we're going to talk about the other parts of the weekend. We've talked about Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. We talked about what he said in the interview. They're calling it a cryptic tweet. We've talked about the qualifying with Charles Leclerc. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Brilliant weekend, really, so far. But there's something I think it was Christian Horner said something a few weeks ago. They said we won't win forever. They said on the F1 podcast, which I listened to the other day. The F1 podcast, they said that it's a 3-horse race. The other teams are there in it. The season is going to light up. It's not just going to be Red Bull winning everything. McLaren and Ferrari in with a shout of winning races, but even probably it might be a 3-horse race for the title. And not all it is. And I've said it. And I've been consistent with my opinion. I think when Max Verstappen was winning everything and nobody could catch him up, and he was winning by 20 plus seconds, yeah, nobody cared about watching Formula One. It become boring. Last year was probably the most boring season ever. I think I deleted all my videos that I recorded on my Skybox all off. The entire season, only the one where actually I've deleted all of them. So the entire 2023 season, I've deleted them off my Skybox because it was a boring season. But apart from that, I think this season it started off a bit slow, and there was a lot of people saying it's going to be the same as last year. Max is going to win everything, and I've said on the record on my early videos. People go back and watch my first video of the season when we done Bahrain review. I said, listen, give it time, give it to Silverstone, see what happens. There's upgrades to come. You can't just write off the season like that because of the first race. Now we're here. Now we're seeing an improvement from Ferrari. Now we're seeing an improvement from McLaren. Now we can see him catching up with Max Verstappen. And now Max Verstappen is not so comfortable anymore. This is probably why, my opinion, in that qualifying, that last stint that he went for in Q3, he buffed his car in the wall, just slightly grazed it. And the reason why I think he's slightly great is because he pushed the car. He over-pushed the car because he could see where Leclerc's time was. He could see where Oscar Piastri's time was. And now, for the first, not the first time, now probably third time of the season, he's getting pushed. And he probably thought the first two times was a one-off. When Lando Norris won in Miami, he probably thought, yeah, it's a one-off. But now he knows it's not a one-off. Now it's not just a McLaren, it's a Ferrari as well. Now he's panicking because this is probably why he over-pushed the car. And what happened? He grazed that wall, and that was his lap over.
Yeah, he did over-push.
Basically, in my opinion, I think he bottled it. He bottled that last lap.
Yeah,
he over-pushed it.
Plus in this qualifying, what I'll notice is that his first sector was fine. His first sector was nice and strong. He got purple. But as soon as he hit that second sector, that middle section, which is the key sector for this track, the sector 3 is only a small sector. Is that straight at the end? The sector 2 is where it matters the most in this race. As soon as he hit the middle sector, he lost all his time there.
The back end flipped up, innit? The back end.
Time there. Like, Leclerc had the top time, and he was 2/10 up Leclerc in the first sector. And then as soon as he hit the second sector, he was 1/10 down. And then so on. He weren't really strong in that second sector. I noticed that in that qualifying.
Nah, it was like that for the practice 1 and 2, which we'll go into the debrief probably Monday. The last sector, the middle sector, Red Bull had problems for the entire weekend. Yeah. What happens is when it was getting to the middle sector, when it was getting around that corner, when you got that high corner, right? It's not a corner, it's like you got to turn and just cut in. The back end was coming out, the back end of the car. And because the back end was coming off with the downforce, they was losing a bit of time. And it was like that for the entire weekend. Perez said to his engineer, the car's got problems. We've got a lot of work to do, guys. This was after acute and practice too. They didn't rectify the problem, which he asked them on the radio. He said, look, we need to sort this out. They didn't rectify it. It was the same. It came out. Perez was nowhere. I think he went out in, was it Q2? He went out in Q2. Perez, disappointed by Sergio Perez. Max made it into. I knew Max was not going to get pole. I knew from practice 2 that he weren't going to get pole. I knew he weren't going to get pole, and I never thought he was sandbagging. I just knew the car just wasn't there. Just thought the car wasn't. He was lucky to get pole in the last race as well. In Imola when he went onto the gravel, you can see it now. The pattern coming in it now. Adrian Newey, he's not really hands on with the car. You can see the patterns happening. But yeah, apart from that, it makes it a better season. Nobody wants to see, and it's not just about Max Verstappen winning every single race. It's about nobody wants to see one driver win every single race for 2 years. Why would anybody sit and watch that? Even if you're a Max Verstappen fan, which I am not. If you're not, even if you're a neutral, just like Toto Hammer says, even if you're a neutral, nobody wants to see the same person win a race. Why would anyone want to see that? That's completely boring. So I'm glad that we're going to have a good season. Hopefully this season picks up even more. And I think this might end up being a great season because you got 3 teams in it now. And hopefully the 3 teams like Ferrari and McLaren can keep upgrading. And that's what it depends on. This is what the team principal said, the head engineer at McLaren. He says, I think we're in with a fight as long as our upgrades keep working, which they should. When they test everything in the wind tunnel and stuff like that, if we can keep bringing these upgrades, it's going to be a great season. Ferrari are confident, McLaren are confident, Red Bull don't look that confident. Max, in my opinion, looks rattled now because he knows he's got challenged. He's not out on their own. He's not out in the race on his own, 20 seconds ahead, doing a Sunday drive. He's getting challenged now. And we all know when Max gets challenged, what happens? He panics. Soon as someone starts going wheel to wheel with him, then we're going to see something. Then we'll see what he's made of.
It's gonna be a struggle for Red Bull as well, because we all know how how they struggle in dirty air.
Yeah.
You know how tight this track is and how small this track is. There's going to be a lot of traffic, a lot of back markers. People at the back in like 20th place, for example, are going to get overlapped so easily since the track is only small. So Verstappen's going to lose a lot of pace, especially in that. I think the DRS would save him, but again, when that Red Bull's in that DRS train and in dirty air, that can't seem to like unlock, and they're always struggling in that dirty air. So again, Red Bull might even drop position. Of course, the pit stop will probably be fast, because you know how Red Bull is, right? But
that'd be a big factor.
But anything can happen, right? Pit stop, anything can happen. It's Formula One. But I say this with Red Bull, right? I'm glad they're not in clear air no more. I'm so glad they're not in clear air, because this race, everyone's going to be tight together. Everyone's going to be close. Everyone's going to be in dirty air. There's going to be a lot of DRS trains, and Red Bull's really going to struggle. I can just feel it.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Like I said, Adrian Newey's not really hands-on involved now. He's kind of halfway out the door. That's their prerogative. They want to do that, Red Bull. But I just want to see a good race. I want to see a good race. I want to see a good season, because the last couple of years, the last 2 years, the season has been whack. Absolutely. That's what the season's been. Now we're getting something now. Now we're getting some sort of a season. Maybe this is F1 back on the up, hopefully, because now we've got more teams getting involved. Before we go, remember, guys, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like. If you're watching us on the download, or whether you're watching on Twitter, smash the like button and support the channel. And yeah, before we go, big up to Gasly, man. Gasly getting in Q3. I think it's first time this season. Pierre Gasly got into Q3. Big up to him. Nice to see Gasly there.
I think this is the kind of. I think this is. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go on.
I think this is the kind of track where it decides on driver ability, because Williams. Look at Williams. Alexander Albon getting in there. You know, the RB. Tsunoda getting in qualifying 3. Gasly in there as well. Alpine's been absolutely rubbish this season. You know how they have problems with the weight distribution. Their weight of the car is all over the place.
I know it is. It's too heavy.
The ballast, the chassis, it's all over the place. But when it comes to this track, anything can happen. That's what I'm saying. It's a pit stop strategy, but you get drivers from different teams. Seeing them in qualifying 3, it should be unusual. Like, it's unusual to see Gasly in qualifying 3. It's unusual to see Tsunoda in qualifying 3. But it's down to driver skill on this track. And this is the only positive about this track. The only one positive about this track, that qualifying is come down more to driver skill rather than the car. Because the whole track is just twisty corners. There's a little mini straight going into turn 1 and 2. But it's just mini corners, hairpins. Of course, you've got that bridge section. And then another hairpin, another mini straight, and then a bend. It's corners and bends, basically. And that's the only reason why the positive about this track is down to driver skill. And that's why, big up to Gasly.
I think he said that. Who said that again today? I think someone, one of them. That's it, Anthony, isn't it? Anthony said it. Anthony, sim driver for Mercedes, quote unquote. He said, "This track is a true driver's." I don't like Monaco. I despise Monaco. I wish Monaco was off the calendar. But Anthony said, Anthony Davidson, by the way, he said, not you, I'm talking people who was watching it. Anthony Davidson said this is a true driver circuit to win this race and to get qualifying. It's not really, it doesn't matter how fast your car is, it's about the skill. It's about the skill of the driver. That will get you the win here and the qualifying here. Not so much the engine and what engine you possess in the back of your car. This all depends on driver skill. The one with the skill and the one with the best strategy, that includes pits as well. Because of all the races this season, the pit means more at Monaco than anywhere. Because with Monaco, you're not overtaking. And the only way you're going to overtake in any capacity is through the pits.
Can I hint at something? Remember Ricardo, I think it was 2014-15, where he had an engine problem. It was like 10-15 laps to go in the race. Just stuck a car in the middle and he done it. Look at Senna and Nigel Mansell, for example. Nigel Mansell was chasing him for how many laps? Right, he collapsed at the end of the race because of how many
to come in, to change the tires. He changed the tires. He come in, he come back out in front of him. When he came out the pit, I think Senna was like 10 seconds or something in front of him. He caught up Senna and he was chasing Senna for about 20 laps behind him, and he just couldn't overtake him. And them cars were smaller.
Exactly,
and he couldn't overtake him. I know.
With this track, if you're good, look, the only aim with this track, you gotta be a good defending driver. You don't even have to be a driver, really. But all you gotta do, know the basics, stick your car in the middle. Yeah, there's an outside line open and an inside line open. Right, there's only a small gap to go to. There's only that bridge section where you can overtake, and that's tight anyway. You got the main straight going into the start finish line, and you got that that little fast bend going into turns 1 and 2. But it's really tight. Realistically, the only straight that you can overtake, and the reason why I'm saying straight, because you can't overtake in any corner, because if you do, the crash happens. This is why there's a lot of pileups in Monaco. The only straight where you can overtake is that bridge section. You know, if you miss that bridge section, you might as well just wait till the next lap and try overtake it again, because there's only one DRS zone, I think, because the rest of the track just bends anyway, so that's the only reason to overtake, really.
Facts. So, Toto, thanks for your great analysis. We're going to be back on tomorrow. It's going to be recorded. We're doing a debrief, and we're going to be talking about Formula One again. And probably one of the days this week, we're going to be doing a space, probably about football, probably talk about Liverpool, about the end of the year, where do we go from there. But yeah, man, thanks for a great day, Toto. Thanks for the inputs. Great analysis as always. Remember, this is your channel as well. Keep it sports. Remember to go and hit the subscribe button on his channel. This is our channel, our joint channel. But Toto's always got his little side channel, which is called Toto Hammer, and he does YouTube stuff on there. He does tell him, man. You tell him what you do, man. It's your channel.
Yeah, I do FC videos, which I might do today. I might be reviewing my, championship boards, because I've got absolutely nothing out of them. New FC videos, podcast of Ty Cuthbert, which I told him it is scheduled for next week on Friday. I had to put it off this Friday for some reason,
Well, did he think it was this week?
Nah, he thought usually it's every 2 weeks. Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Okay, yeah.
Then I told him, sorry, the podcast is not on Friday, it's next Friday, because I had a lot going on. So I got free time on next Friday. And yeah, that's all that's coming up on my channel.
Big up, man. Toto Hammer. Big up to the man then. Thanks for joining us today. And be sure channels as well. Keep your if you want, there's the Tyler Cuthbert thing. Get in the top. It's called Get in the Top podcast with Tyler Cuthbert. Go and follow both. There's the socials. Big up to the man. That's their podcast. Right there. Get in the toe. Big up, man. So, big up to the man then. But before we go, we're all going to say goodbye to the man then. All the people that support us on the channel. And our biggest support of the channel is...
Kurgan.
There you go. Kurgan. So, I'm going to be heading off now. Big up. Bye.
Big up.
Let's get them intro on. See you later, guys. Bye.